Welcome to the Fourth Step Podcast. On each episode, we interview recovering addicts and learn their story with addiction. Through exploring personal journeys, we get a glimpse of the depths addicts fall to and their path in recovery. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, we're back from break, and
you can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ask me things, Kevin.
Yeah,
make sure you do edit that out, please.
We're going into resentments. So here's one of the flashcards. So what resentment did you carry for a very long time that you have overcome today?
Whoa, I didn't know this question existed.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking back, you can name off some resentments.
Or you just pick some resentments that you've experienced in recovery that stand out, and then if they still linger today or not.
Yeah.
Like whatever's easier for you, however you get there.
Yeah, I mean, resentment's always been explained to me as things that I like go back and refeel, you know? Like I make the decision to go back and refeel those things. So, I mean, depends on what the period is, but
you have to.
I've gone back and refelt a lot of things, you know.
Yeah, but stuff that you might have worked through it all, but looking back.
No, I'm getting there, Kevin.
All right.
So I think one that's really relevant today to me, and a resentment that I've refelt my whole life is being made fun of for being fat. So my whole life, I've thought of myself as a fat guy.
I can relate to that, dude.
I am not fat anymore. I actually might have a little bit of like
skinny fuck,
almost like, you know, like I know that I have an eating disorder also. Like there's other manifestations of my disease. You know, like I overeat a lot. And I only know this because now I weigh my food, and I've been like pretty like regimented about like what I put into my body, but it's not always been like that. I usually will eat a giant tub of ice cream at the end of the night with marshmallow topping, and like that's what, you know. That's
in the past.
Yeah, that's in the past. But anyways, yeah, so I've carried that resentment of like you know, like I refeel it. I still refeel it sometimes, you know, like I'll catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I'll be like, yeah, you're fat again.
Is the resentment towards the people that called you fat, or is the resentment towards yourself for not practicing the self-care to stay healthy?
Both. I think like, I mean, looking back at it, like I sometimes like I got real heavy into anthropology with my my best friend who's in recovery, but also because of my grandpa. So I think that there's like an evolutionary stimulus to like having little kids calling me fat. Like they were like, "Hey, you fat kid, fatty." What they were really trying to say to me is like, "Hey, brother, like maybe you should, you know, choose a different type of fuel and maybe take care of yourself a little bit better." But they didn't have the words to say that, you know, like now I can look at it like that as like, hey, you know, they might have called it out in like a very mean way. But what ended up happening was like, yeah, you know what? Like maybe I should have been treating myself a little bit better because during COVID, I was laying down and I had stopped running like completely because at the shutdown, they were like, don't go outside. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to go outside. I was real like following the rules, like trying to make sure my kids didn't get sick and my dad with a heart problem didn't get sick. And I just didn't go outside, you know, and I had been running like, you know, 25, 30 mile weeks at this point. And I was eating whatever because I could eat whatever. And I stopped running and I was like, I kept eating whatever. And so I gained that weight during COVID real fast. And I was having all these problems, like problems with my stomach and problems with my heart, and it wasn't like it was stuff that was like, it feels really uncomfortable to be me right now, you know. And I would feel my heart real hard laying down to sleep at night. Things hurt, like I thought I had like appendicitis or something. At one point I was going to the doctor, they were like giving me colonoscopies and stuff. anyways, I lost all that weight.
You were just going because you wanted the
again.
colonoscopies.
Yeah, I was having a fun recreational colonoscopy. I go for the recreation.
Fucking Josh.
Spelunker. I was going spelunking.
Anal spelunking,
Yep.
yeah. Spelunker.
This is why me and Josh are friends. But yeah, no, once I started losing the weight, like it was like all my physical problems kind of like went away. And I was like, oh man, that was like the thing. So I periodically will refeel that. That's probably like my longest resentment. And now, like through recovery and working the 12 steps, I know for me that all those little labels that we give ourselves or other people give us, like all that's, a lot of it's lies, you know, like I'm not a fat kid. Now I'm, you know, a marathon runner. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm a marathon runner. I'm training for a marathon. I go out and I get off the couch. I came back from an injury, got off the couch, ran 13 miles.
It's a way better story, dude.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I mean, I was off for 2 weeks and I got up off the couch, ran 13 miles, and I don't even feel it, you know?
I was just talking to Sadie recently about, like, she went off into this story came into her head about things that she's dealing with, and she grabbed that story, and that story is what she focused on, and it started developing into all this other shit that was causing dysfunction in her head and her emotions and all this shit. And I was explaining to her, like, you everything, you were on this track, and then this story showed up and it derailed you, and now you're over here and this story is dictating everything. And going back to before that story started, understanding that thing showed up, but you can still stay on the same track and not giving this stuff any power. It's pretty crazy. Like the idea of being able to tell a different story and lean into that, and like where you put your attention and where you focus, how drastically it can affect you on a subconscious level is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It really is.
The way I was practicing honesty during my first year clean looks a lot different than practicing honesty today at 16 years clean. Whereas back then, like, I couldn't tell you the truth. And that was like an easy, like, you know, I would point at that thing and be like, that TV is red. And like, you know, obviously that's a lie. But today,
do you think some of that is because of awareness?
Yeah, but I'm saying today my awareness of honesty is my mind. Like I'll tell the truth to everyone, you know, but my mind does little things, little fabrications. It makes up things. It creates realities that aren't necessarily there. And so through working the steps, like
your mind's a bad neighborhood to hang out in.
I know, but through working the steps, that's where I get to like practice honesty today. I'm still practicing. Like I don't do it perfectly because my mind tells lies like automatically, you know, to myself. And so I believe those things sometimes and I act on those things. And the reality is like, spirituality for me is a relationship with reality. So the more I get out of the fabrication of my head,
that's your addict talking to you.
Yeah, and like into like, you know what? I'm not that. I'm an athlete. What if I'm not? What if I'm an endurance athlete? I am. Yeah. I'm an endurance athlete.
You know what Josh calls that?
What?
The 2-foot drop from your head to your heart. I love it.
I'll take all the credit for that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's great. Any other resentments?
Yeah, I was going to say the follow-up is still active today?
I mean, I have a couple, but I'm not going to say them on the.
Well, it's towards people, places, and things?
Yeah, they're towards a couple people.
So you could say there's this
I'm
person.
working on them. Yeah.
Can you speak about them and have it still be anonymous?
No, because a lot of my friends and people that I love are in recovery and they will hear this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like resentments aren't things that they've done to me necessarily. You know, they're things that I feel because of decisions I've made that have something to do with them too, you know? So I don't, you know, I have resentments, but I work on them and I'm like really, I think I'm really active in NA because I'm active in NA, so I see everyone that's like close around, you know. So I talk to my sponsor regularly. I work steps regularly. I'm working traditions with my sponsee. Like, you know, I'm working on stuff. It's not like my sponsorship family tells me, Nick, the only problem you have is unworked steps. And usually that's true because the unworked steps lead me to other things. Maybe I need to go to the doctor and seek outside help or what, you know, but all that stuff leads me to solutions. So.
All right. So there's some current resentments, but we don't want to go into that.
Yeah, they're not, I mean, they're just run of the mill. Yeah. Run of the mill resentments.
So-and-so did that. And I thought that was pretty shitty.
Well, not even that. It's like, if only, you know, I had only listened to this part of the suggestion, and I would have been better off, or, you know,
I got
stuff like that.
All right. So, moving on, tell us about one of your biggest fears in early recovery.
Biggest fear? Well, so my AA sponsor, Dean, he made me do something that was way different than I had ever heard before. And he made me put my beliefs on my 4-step. He said, people, places, things, beliefs. And so I had a bunch of beliefs on there that were like, it was like, I have to be rich. And meanwhile, I'm like a homeless guy, like at a transitional house eating donations, you know?
Yeah.
And I put this belief on there, like, I have to, you know, like, I won't be seen doing, you know, whatever. I was really afraid of how people like looked at
Perception
me. Yeah,
of you.
perception. Yeah. So that was like my biggest one. And that belief, when I put it down on my 4-step, I was also unemployed. I wouldn't get a job. When I put that belief down on my 4-step, it actually opened my mind up to being like, you know what? Like, you're never going to make any money if you don't get a job. And so I got a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
I like swallowed my pride and I got a minimum wage job. And that was it. The other fears I had were like, I'm never going to have fun ever again because I'm 21, you know, clean.
Yeah, that's normal though.
Yeah, that's my fear. You asked.
Yeah. No, I mean, at people, you know, because we got clean really young.
Yeah.
And that was like, me too.
I've had more fun in recovery than I ever had getting loaded.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. That was not I was like, ain't nothing about this fun anymore, dude. I'm fucking done, dude. I don't want anything to do with any of this.
When you first got clean, yeah.
Yeah, I was able to tie drugs to prison so like fully like if I do drugs, I go to prison. No like that's a thing. And I don't want to go to prison. This shit sucks. Mm-hmm. Like there's no fun here.
But when you started coming to NA, did you still have that fear like, oh, if I get clean, I'll never have fun again?
I never had that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
that makes total sense.
Yeah,
I never
wasn't
had fun. I had the fear that I would never be able to get a girlfriend because remember all the shit that made me be able to make friends and talk to girls. Now, I remember talking to my friend in that first year clean, which is part of my bottom. And I was like, dude, how do I like talk to girls? Like sober, I said sober, you know? And he was like, man, I don't know. He's like, said that to me. I'm like, oh shit, he doesn't know either.
Did you date around in recovery early on?
No, I tried. I was like trying to like, that was the other fear I had.
How did you meet your wife?
Well, that was, I had a little over 3 years clean, but my first year they were like, don't get into a relationship. Don't get into a relationship. I was trying my hardest, dude. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. Oh. And I eventually got this one girl's number and I was like at a Starbucks and like my friend she was like a barista and my friend was like dating one of the other girls there. And he's like, oh, she thinks you're cute. Like, she wants your number. And I was like, oh, finally, I get to get in a relationship my first year. And I'm like texting her. And meanwhile, I had just gotten a cell phone. Like I got a cell phone, like, I think it was 6 months clean. It was a little purple phone. It was what's that? The monthly payment one. I forgot what it was.
Nokia?
No. It was like the service. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm texting her, you know, and I'm like, we're texting for a couple of days. I'm like, so when are you going to pick me up? And she goes, you don't have a car? And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, I can't really date, you know, a guy who doesn't have a car. And then she stopped texting me altogether. And I was like, dumbfounded. Like, why would she do that? And then it hit me, wow, I really have nothing to offer in a relationship right now. Like, I can barely feed myself. I don't have any money, you know, like,
Yeah.
what am I going to offer in a relationship? My physical body? Like,
I remember the first relationship I got in outside of prison. I was talking to this chick, and it was like we talked for like a week pretty consistently, and it came time to hang out, and I was like, I don't have a car, I just got out of prison, but I have a job. And she was like, huh, all right, well, fortunately that didn't faze her very much, but I don't know if that was a good sign or not, but I remember that feeling, dude, of just like nothing to
Offer.
well, looking back at
Yeah.
it for me too, something like in hindsight and like working steps, looking back at that specific event, it was like the person that I was attracting was now different because back in the day when I was getting loaded, like none of that stuff mattered, you know, like, and now like I'm attracting different type of people because I'm changing. So the people I'm attracting are more healthy with boundaries, and they like wouldn't stand for that type
So
of stuff.
that goes right into this question. Did fear of some kind affect the way you interact in relationships? You talked about some of that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so there's like, I had a lot of people in recovery, like giving me all this wisdom, you know, like I was learning from, it was the first time in my life that I was able to learn from other people's experiences. Usually I'd have to go hit my head in the doorway and before I would duck. Now I was watching you guys hit your heads. And so I would duck before I was going through the doors. But one of the things that happened in that time was in working my first 9-step, I redeveloped a relationship with my grandparents on my mom's side. They didn't want to have anything to do with me. Like, this was different than my dad's side. They were like, went to church and, you know, like stuff like that. And so my grandpa became like, I got very close to him in my recovery before he eventually passed away. But he was the one who like gave me my biggest lesson in relationships. And he was like, yeah, relationships are all about learning how to give graciously and receive gracefully. Like, you need to be able to like receive stuff just as gracefully as like you give stuff in a relationship. And I thought that was like really interesting because
That is interesting.
yeah, I had never thought about it like that. Like, oh, you know, maybe I do deserve what I'm getting. And also they deserve what they're getting from me, type of thing. So before, yeah, relationships were about what can I get from you? What can I get from you? What can I take from you? And how will this benefit me? And somewhere along the line, like, I don't know, something changed. Like the Grinch's heart grew 2 sizes that day, or however many sizes it grew, you know, in recovery. And I started actually like thinking about other people, you know, and the way
It's
that
a novel idea for you.
yeah. And I mean, it's been, the people and the relationships has been hard. It's been like one of like the most recent things I learned was like the most important, because I was like at my job, my minimum wage job, I was promoting and promoting and promoting, and I eventually promoted to like a corporate position, you know. I'm like at a different place now than where I was at. And I had this one, there was the senior leader who was like, Nick, like your team loves you, everybody loves you, like all the, you know, all the employees, like they all love you, all the workers or whatever. But your peers, they like have real problems with you. And I was like, well, yeah, but that's because they can't fucking get anything done, you know? It was like, I hold them to higher standards. They were like, no one was like able to figure shit out, you know? And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And I would get real on, like, I held them to like
Brutally honest with them.
well, I held them to standards that I had fabricated for myself,
Yeah.
you know? And that person, that lady, like taught me a lot about relationships. See, all the stuff that all these people, my higher power was putting in my life, I didn't see it until like after it had happened. And
They're all teachers.
yeah, they were teachers. And this one lady like gave me all these books, and she's like, yeah, you're really good at all the technical stuff, but like if you just worked on this one thing, like the things you would be able to do in your career would just like you'd be able to go so much further. And like you guys were all, my sponsor's really big into like, let's help the newcomer. Let's talk to the newcomer. Let's make sure they keep coming back. Oh, you have a problem? Well, fucking go talk to a newcomer. Go see what their problems are, you know? And we default to service to newcomers, you know? And so that's been a real, like, addicts were different to me because it was like I could relate to these people. Normies, people who, like, didn't have the disease of addiction, it was harder for me to, like, give them grace. Like, why are you fucking
no
up?
excuse, dude.
Yeah, no excuse. You don't even have the disease of addiction. And life is hard for everybody. It's not like, and you know, they might have other things going on that I don't know about, you know?
Right, yeah.
Sometimes the story that we're telling ourselves is fucked up too. Like the expectations that you were holding for yourself. Like, it's great to have ambition and expectations and standards that we hold ourselves to. And I recently experienced this, and that's why I'm saying it, is like I will subconsciously expect everybody else to perform at the same level, like you were talking about, to the standards that I have, and I don't intentionally do it. And then I find out that the standards that I've set for myself are harmful for me, like even just me. So not only am I fucking myself up, but I'm also in some ways fucking up other people. And sometimes it's just energetically. Like sometimes I'll hear somebody talking and I struggle with authenticity as far as like I feel people more than I hear them. And so like if I have this expectation of myself to practice that level of authenticity as to the best of my ability, and somebody else isn't doing that the way I think they should, I'll dismiss them. And my energy that I project towards that person is fucked up. Or like, or just completely dismissive. Like I don't even fucking hear them. Like they're not even making noise. It's fucking weird. It's crazy. It's completely unrealistic.
That sounds like a Josh characteristic.
It's fucked up, dude. I'll be like, it's subconsciously, it's almost like I'm trying to protect myself. Like that person's full of shit. Don't listen to him.
Wow. So that's what was going on.
When you were talking?
Yeah, when we sit down together, I was like, he's got this faraway look in his eyes, and
no. Sometimes I'm running numbers too, dude.
I know.
Sometimes I'll be running. Most of the time, I'm running numbers.
You're crunching numbers.
Yeah, but I will do that though. And lately, I've been catching myself like someone will be talking, and I have this. Like if you're not operating on the same frequency I am, not saying that the frequency I'm on is better or worse than anybody's, just different. I'm not realizing that I'm doing it, but if I'm not able to connect with you in that way, my brain is like dismisses you.
Yeah.
And it's because of this standard that I like, this expectation I have of myself. And I've been realizing that like, so like, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about like, you're over there, like pushing yourself to this extreme to potentially gain ground because you spent so much time doing the opposite shit. Now you're like accomplishing goals and you're winning and you're grinding and you're growing and you're excelling. And there's this standard that you set for yourself. And then because of that, all the people around you are
the fear, that's where the fear stems from, is not being enough.
Yeah.
It's not my life being over. Remember when I came to NA, my life was over. Like there was no recovering from the depths of despair depravity I had succumbed to in my disease. And so, it's all that fear. There's also an opposite though. That's like I wanted to be the best, but that's tied into that, like never being good enough. Like for an addict like me, I'm always on the extreme. I'm either not good enough or I'm the fucking best, and there's no stopping me. And I'm never really in between. You know, today I am more in between than that.
I love that, dude. Me too. I try.
That's a sense of that's the right sizedness we get through a spiritual awakening, through humility. You know. But a lot of that stuff in relationships has been like, am I not enough?
Yeah.
And
the right size part, do you do you recognize that when you're in it? Like, are you able to acknowledge like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like? Do you feel it more frequently? Is it something you're consciously working on?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think that it's like I'm consciously doing it. It's like I've like welcomed in a higher power, and a lot of the times it's you guys. That's my higher power. Like you act as like, executors of my higher power's will, that like show me things, and so I'm not like doing much consciously. I'm just doing the things that I'm supposed to do consciously, and through that, like these other like subconscious things happen. Like you guys always
just a subtle.
I mean, it's just
subtle shift.
It's the old cliche. Like you can't think your way into right thinking. You have to act your way into right thinking. So I'm just doing the acting, and along the way, my thinking is like changing. It's change. It still is.
Yeah. Do you ever like? I deal with like intellectual people a lot. Josh being one of them. He's fucking super intelligent, and you are too. Do you ever catch yourself thinking too much and not realizing that you should be feeling something? He's laughing because we talk about that all the time.
I think I feel a lot.
So you have a pretty good balance?
I don't have. Yeah, I don't like. So you guys like do good. Not you. I'm not saying you two guys. I'm just talking about like NA as a whole. Like people do really good at like they cry in meetings and shit. I don't really cry in meetings. Like I get like I'll be eating lunch by myself and I'll like get teary eyed.
That's cool. You get it though.
Like I get it. But I don't like. It's not like when I'm talking. It's like I'm having a good time. But when I'm like feeling, I don't pick and choose when it happens. It's just like little things. I see a picture of my daughter or something like as a baby or something.
Yeah. All right. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I feel a lot, but I also don't think that I'm that intellectual. I think that I kind of do dumb stuff all the time.
I agree.
I would say more. If there's one thing I'm more of, it's. I have a lot of. I think I am like courageous. So, but I think that like might come off to some people as like, oh, he's intellectual because he like can talk.
No. Yeah. I mean, is there a difference in your mind between intelligence and intellectual? I just think you have like some brain power.
I think intelligence is a measure of your actual ability to comprehend, and I think intellectual is more of like you are a thinker.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference to me.
People have all sorts of intelligences. I met this. I've talked about him before. He's my friend now. He's this retired marathon runner, and like, does he do like advanced equations? No, but this guy knows the human anatomy like no one I've ever met, and how everything ties into itself, and like biomechanics, and how this bone attaches to this tendon or ligament or whatever, and this muscle.
So he's intelligent.
Yeah, and but very
in
specific,
a very targeted area.
Yeah.
But it still requires
that. Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
you have to be intelligent to comprehend that.
A little bit. Yeah. Everyone has their like.
I'm just curious because, like, I mean, we have like so many friends, and their personalities and everything is so different, right? But they're all in our friend circle, and like we could look around and like, he's a feeling person, he's a thinker.
I'm a doer.
You're a doer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's more than any feeling or thinking. I just do things.
I like
you guys know that.
What do you think you are? You're more of a feeler, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit all three of those: the doer, the thinker, and the feeler. I think I have a
very complex,
confusing mix of all three. Yeah.
You do confuse me.
Depends on your brain chemistry that day.
Yeah, I guess, man. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What consequences from past wrongdoings are you living with today? That's always like a weird question, but like, are you still
in my disease?
Wait, one sec.
Yeah.
Can we do current fears today?
Did you have any?
Fear. I mean, I've talked about them, like fear of losing my kids and
Yeah.
career and
Probably just those two then.
just to run. I mean, I'm getting older. My body's breaking down. I'm doing this marathon training. Things aren't healing up how they should be, and I can't. I'm not, 20 anymore. I wish I had done this in my 20s, but it's never too late to, make a change. Yeah, fear of like sometimes I'll like put out a goal, like you guys know I'm trying to run this marathon. Well, what if I can't? Like, what if I don't make it to the start line because I get injured on my way there, which is like a real possibility because I've gotten a couple injuries now, in the past 2 months. Little things like that. I know to me, I just brush it off like, like.
Are you doing any icing and cold plunging, heat therapy, anything like that?
I have.
You should see his cold plunge. It's like a tote. It's
no,
like
I have
2 cubic feet.
I have a cold plunge sitting on a pallet right now.
Oh.
That's a real one
With a chiller?
The chiller's not here. That's why I haven't taken it out.
What
of the
kind did
pallet.
you get?
An ice barrel, the nice one, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big,
I
nice
walked
one.
outside in his backyard and he's got like this little 2-gallon tote with water in it, and he's squat. You know how, 6'3" and he squats really tiny.
No, I don't squat. I just put my legs in there, my like calves and stuff.
Are you going to full body submerge when you get the new one set up?
Yeah, I was thinking I probably should have had that out yesterday because it was real warm and stuff when I got back from my run.
Yeah.
But yeah, so physical stuff I'm afraid of, and
All right.
yeah.
Well, that goes right
my
into
parents like aren't. I mean, my mom takes care of herself, but she I think she could do. I mean, I had the unrealistic expectations are like a lot of where my fear stems from. Like,
Yeah.
my dad won't listen to me about taking care of himself. He also has he's just had a heart surgery last year. He's doing really well, but I also think like he could do more. I don't think he could do more, but it's hard for me to.
and both of those things are outside of your hula hoop.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one.
I don't tell him like, hey, you could do better, because I know he's not going to listen to me.
Yeah. So things catching up for you, like you still have consequences of past wrongdoings, like your body. That.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah, we've even getting clean young. I think that I've done some damage. I got that whole, basically left side of my body to X-ray. I have a hereditary thing, a hip dysplasia, where my skeletal anatomy, like my pelvis grew different, so my left leg works different. It doesn't go into the socket the same as my right leg, which is considered normal.
That's
I have
not
a benign.
anything that you're doing. Though.
No, I have a benign bone tumor on my left femur.
Is that from your wrongdoing?
I don't know what it's from, but it develops when you're like an adolescent. So that was during my using years when that developed.
Are both your legs the same length?
I think they are, but the hip dysplasia makes it so that this one is like off.
Do you use a lift
A lift in my.
in your shoe?
No, but I might, because that's where all my hip problems happen when I'm running.
Yeah. I have a lift. I only ask because it's a common problem, and I have a lift in my right foot. My right leg is 0.65 inches shorter than my left, and running fucking the impact over time
Yeah, brutal.
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Side shoot.
I know. Yeah, how's your lifts in your shoes? No,
I pump up the left one. Like
you have no criminal history, so like
No.
nothing that comes up.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of consequences other than like maybe health
That's why we have the
to keep you on track.
yeah. That's why we have the little what are they called?
Flashcards.
Flashcard. That's why we have the flashcards.
I also think this is like, I was ashamed that I wasn't as bad, when I came in. That actually almost got me killed.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah,
rehab
yeah.
3 and 4, that type of thinking almost got me killed, because I would go to meetings and they'd be like, I was in prison and blah, blah, blah. I used to do this and I murdered so-and-so. And I'd be like, I'm not that bad. I'm going to go get loaded. And I almost fucking died doing that. So I think it's important for me to share my story as it is. And yeah, I've never been incarcerated. I was pretty manipulative and got myself out of a lot of situations.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I
Your type of
I was
story.
also very paranoid.
I am very, very grateful that it's more common now today because of the way you were thinking in early recovery. And now we hear a lot more stories about like, yeah, I like spent 3 years popping pills, you know, and doctor shopping. And now I'm here in Narcotics Anonymous and like no prison, no jail time, no.
Yeah,
Still got the job.
If you were
still got the
smoking
wife.
weed legally for the past, 10 years, like shit. That's why in the basic text it had that premonition.
Weed and alcohol.
Yeah, like you can come in. Like my uncle is a homeless addict, weed addict, and people are like, "What?" I'm like, that's the nature of the disease of addiction. It doesn't care what we use. It manifests how it manifests.
All right, let's get on to
Weed's a drug.
a lighter subject. How are you showing your gratitude for your recovery?
When I care and share with others the NA way.
Yeah. I could tell you one thing.
You grab Tuesday, folks, dude.
Yeah.
It is, but that is true. That's like
It's very true.
Like I talk about this all the time.
That's a perfect example of you sharing your story.
That's the last. That question is essentially the last question of the step working guide. Do you have the step working guide right here? It says, "How will I express my gratitude?" It's the very last question.
I don't work the steps.
I wish I was close. I wish I was closer for that meeting. I like that group. I missed that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We miss you.
It says, "How will I express my gratitude?" And it's the very last question on the very last step. And you guys always tell me, a grateful addict's a clean addict. But you also, like in the basic text, it says, when I care and share with others the NA way. Well, what is the NA way? I've gone deep down into like philosophizing about this. And
Is that a word?
Philosophize?
but it's
Philosophize?
attached to my feelings.
No, I was going to say it's a perception, right?
Yeah, this is just my
exactly.
This is my experience.
So everybody
with it.
has
exactly this
their
is
own
my
perception.
Yeah, this is my experience with it.
Yeah.
And like, what is the NA way? Oh, it's an addict can stop using and find a new way of life, through like working the 12 steps and having a spiritual awakening. Oh, and what is a spiritual awakening? We don't know, but the common theme is that it involves humility, which I know is like a sense of right-sizedness, and that's basically it. Like when I share with you my sense of right-sizedness, addict to addict or whatever to whatever, that's how I do my best expressing my gratitude. And so what does that mean for me? Like when shit's good, I bring that to the meeting and be like, hey, shit's good. When shit's bad, I bring that to the meeting. Hey, shit's bad. When shit's mundane, normal, run-of-the-mill, routine, I bring that to meeting and say, hey, here's how things were normal and mundane and routine, but through a change in my ideas and attitudes, I can see everything as beautiful, And so
That's why I always check in whenever I chair a meeting. Like that's a big portion of my share is like current. Like I love that about like that is what I can relate to the most. When people do what you were just talking about, like that's what gets me.
Yeah, I like to
I
share.
can feel that. I don't dismiss you because I feel what you're saying.
I share about my past through the lens of my current recovery too, and so that helps.
I love that type of share. Like somebody that's going to share and they're talking about how grateful they are because you're at a place in your life and you have this, and it contrasts from when I was 17 in rehab with nothing, so you're able to share some of your past.
But through the lens of recovery. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like I harmed people. Like this was I did this. It was very harmful to other people. It was diseased thinking, and it wasn't, it was something I thought was right, but I've come to learn it's not, or I thought was cool. Mm-hmm. A lot of the things I thought like were cool are like not cool at all to me anymore. Like I'm really attracted to the men in meetings who like do like come to tears, and they look like, hardened prison gang members like that have like done some shit, and then they come to tears, and I'm like, that's fucking attractive,
Yeah.
They're getting honest with their feelings, and like you want to see a person with courage. Like that's courage, not doing harm to someone, in the streets, or like doing a jack move or something like that. Real courage is like, can you come get vulnerable in front of a whole group of people who doesn't necessarily know you and share something about yourself that you wouldn't necessarily have shared? Like that's real.
True.
That's what
courage.
That's what opens the door for growth.
Yeah, that's cool to me.
It's the
That's
passageway
attractive.
to growth for
Yeah, I think
everybody.
You talked about like also sharing the bad times and being able to express that at group level. A lot of old timers and for myself, like I had a block at like 20 years or something in a mental block about you're supposed to have it all together by now. And
Well, that's what I thought of you guys too when I came in. I said, "Fuck, this guy wants to get loaded. He's just share. He had 28 years clean. He's not supposed to feel like that."
Yeah, so there was some years where like I wouldn't share the bad stuff, right? Because it would look bad. And that twisted thinking in our head, our addict will sabotage us, and like some old timers will think, well, we don't want to share the bad stuff because newcomers, if they see that it's bad even at 20 years, maybe they won't stay, right? Mm-hmm. That's the twisted thinking. And then at some point, when you get that type of somewhere, I got balance, right? Mm-hmm. And then so I would share some bad stuff with 35 years clean, and somebody would come up to me after it, and I really appreciate you sharing that you're going through a hard time, to let us know that it's you're still human.
Yeah, sometimes for me too, and I shared this before, is like I can't manufacture anything bad to tell you guys because things really aren't bad, right? Sometimes I get in meetings like that where it's like everyone's going through something, and I'm like sitting there like, things are pretty good, what am I? I can't really relate, and so it's not really my job to relate, though. It's my job to share where I'm at,
Sometimes the mess is the message. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah. So this was about gratitude, and I just wanted to point out something about Nick is he doesn't flaunt this or like throw it out there as a badge, but like every Tuesday he goes to a transitional house and picks up guys, and this is like quite a ways out of the opposite direction.
It's out of the way for everybody.
Yeah, and he picks them up and brings them to the meeting. And so he spends at least an hour and a half driving just to get these guys and take them to a meeting and buys them dinner afterwards every single time. And he does that.
It's my
living amends.
It's also creative action of the spirit. Like it's a service commitment that I gave myself that no one. I mean, there was like. It wasn't like no one was doing it, but it was like just this one thing I found for myself. Like I have the means to take, a few guys to dinner every week, and it was important for me to not just experience the meeting, but the meeting before the meeting after the meeting, so they get all of it, and I get all of it too, because when every Tuesday I'm sitting there and there's guys with like, oh, I'm going into to court for my third strike. I have a lifetime sentence hanging over my head, and I'm telling them like I've never experienced that, but you know what? NA is going to be there for you no matter what. Like you have a choice to live a way different life. Even if you go to prison for the rest of your life, we're there. We're in H&I in prison.
Yeah.
We're there. You can choose to not say fuck it and get loaded, because like Josh was saying, like you can get loaded in prison, you can live clean. And I've heard other people share this, like the first time, it was a few weeks ago at the Gratitude Tuesday meeting, there was someone talking about being in prison. The first time they'd ever experienced freedom was working steps in prison. Like they've never experienced freedom before until they got to prison and worked the program. So it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't like, obviously, like selfless service is the best type of service. So yeah, I don't like talk about it a lot, but for me, it like that shit rejuvenates me every week. And
Yeah.
and you talked about, you were talking to someone yesterday night at the meeting about our niche, and I don't know, if sponsorship is necessarily my niche at this point in my recovery.
Right, yep.
But what I know is that I do a really good job of connecting newcomers to a sponsor. So I might not necessarily sponsor them, but by the time those guys leave, they have sponsors. They're ready, like they're going out in the world, like they have.
Yeah, a treatment facility like is such a revolving door, and your consistency to bring people every Tuesday, you're constantly getting a new crowd and fostering relationships that could potentially change the trajectory of all of the people that you're regularly taking to meetings. Like it's a powerful form of service.
And it's local. Like it's
Yeah.
like people get real into like politics and stuff, and like the way I am most effective
When you say
politically is doing service in my local community, trying to change the world right around me, like immediately around me, rather than like trying to change, like what someone in some other country is doing, or stuff like that. Like I can do that, I can have influence over it, but where I have the most power from my higher power is like immediately right here in my neighborhood. Like, are the kids at my kids' schools like being fed properly?
Yeah.
Like, that's important. All that stuff is very important to me. Like, I want my kids to grow up around kids who are fed, which is like a basic thing. Like
What you're describing, for me, like big picture situation, if we're talking about the program, what you're describing is like practicing the principles inside and outside the rooms.
And Josh is like saying the ripple effect. You talk about the
Yeah.
ripple effect. Remember Gerald? He called us up
Yeah.
and we went out to his meeting. It's one guy that I was picking up and taking to meetings. I don't know who's going to hear the message, but he was like, "Hey, Nick," I'm like, "You remember me?" And I didn't remember him. And he was like, "I'm secretary over here in this town, blah, blah, blah. Can you
Where
come
at?
chair this meeting?" Rio Linda.
Okay.
And I went over and it was like, cool. Yeah, I chaired the meeting. But what was the coolest thing that I got to see was I walked in that meeting and this person who had never heard the Narcotics Anonymous message before had a sponsor, had a support group, had friends in recovery, had a life that was like, he's still pretty
he was
new.
tapping in.
Yeah, he was pretty new, but all those things in that chapter, what can I do, that was like important and pertinent to him, like he did those things, like and that's like, I don't know, that's cooler to me. That result is cooler to me because I don't know, who's going to hear the message. We don't get to control that.
Yeah, you could take fucking 500 people to meetings and it'll stick for 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that makes it worth it.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
The way I feel,
Yeah.
I think that but by going to the meeting before the meeting, and the meeting after the meeting, they have more of a chance.
Probably increases, yeah.
Yeah, because the spiritual principle of attraction rather than promotion, like what I do speaks way more about my recovery. Like it's watching how I live, having newcomers see how I live is probably way more attractive than me being like, "Hey, why don't you go fucking get clean, bro?" It's trust me, bro. Yeah. Trust me, bro. Didn't work for me. I had to watch all you guys like doing things.
That's the same for me. All right, next. What assets do you have that helps you be of service to others? We already talked about you being of service.
I mean, I have a lot of characteristics about myself that can be assets or defects at the same time. I talk about my recovery baseball card all the time. Like I'm like have.
Tell us about your recovery base. I like that part of your story.
Yeah, if I had a recovery baseball card, I would like be batting a 0 on acceptance and wisdom, and very high batting average on courage to change the things I can. Because I think that I can change a lot of things, and I will push and push and push and push and push. And it's actually through recovery that I have like I was talking about last night. Like be afraid and do it anyways. Be afraid and do it anyways. Be afraid and do it anyways.
Do it scared.
Do it scared. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was a spiritual principle that was foreign to me. And someone taught that to me in early recovery. I don't even remember. I think someone gave me a little book. It was like a little booklet. I don't even remember what it was from. I was in my transitional house, but that was such a foreign concept to me. Like, what? If you're afraid of something, just don't do it, you know? And I practiced being afraid and doing it anyways.
It becomes a default
Yeah.
at a certain point. It's almost fucking unhealthy sometimes. For me, sorry.
I mean,
me specifically.
One of the first examples we have is getting clean. Mm-hmm. We're all afraid.
Yeah,
of
that's a
getting
great
clean.
example. Yeah.
Yeah, we're afraid and we do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think has become like, for me, that's like probably my biggest asset.
Do you feel?
I think I am courageous. I do a lot of things that not many people are willing to do.
Do you ever feel that it's possible that you are, and I'm not implying that you are, it's a just question. Do you ever feel it's possible that you're overly ambitious?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have
Yeah.
low wisdom. The longer I stay clean, though, the more wisdom I get, and the more I like learn from other people hitting their head on the doorway, the more wisdom I get. So today, maybe I have I'm batting like a 450 in wisdom, but still my acceptance is like real low. Of it's hard for me to know when to stop pushing, because I think like a lot of things do require footwork for me. And that's the other thing. Like, it's not even tied to ambition. Like, if you would ask my dad who I was, like, before I got clean, he would be like, that is the laziest, like, slobbiest kid. Like, everything was like dirty all the time and slobby, you know, and I was lazy. I didn't want to do any work. I didn't want to get up off the couch. Like,
Now it's the exact opposite.
yeah, I work extremely, like, that's another one of my assets. Is like when I do something, I do it all the way. Like, you're not getting like half of me. Like, oh, we're gonna do this. It might seem like a small thing to you, but it's not. It's like a huge thing to me. Even my recent service commitment in my Thursday meeting, it's like I was like, oh, you know what? There's a vacuum here. Like, they just asked me to do it, and I was like, oh, I could probably do it off the strength of my
your
phone
relationships
alone. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Like, there's not many, we don't have like a lot of like female representation. We have a lot of like, there's bringing females to the rehab. And I was like, what would happen if I didn't go off the strength of my phone list? What would happen if I got majority, like 70-80% female chair people, which is not normal for me, you know? Because like when I came in,
it's not normal, period.
it's not normal at all. Yeah. In any meeting. Right. And so I was told when I came in, like, don't, talk to girls, don't talk to, newcomer girls. And I thought that meant like, don't like make meaningful relationships with the opposite sex. And what happened this past year was like, I made friends with like a lot of females, and asked, like, I would go to different meetings. I'd ask them to chair this meeting. What's happened at the meeting is like more females like go to the meeting. Like, it's like predominant. It's like one of the only meetings where I go to. It's like predominantly females.
Female,
now.
yeah. No.
And I think I'm not saying it's like, oh, because I'm so good and I did all this shit.
Oh, it's a result of an idea that you had that worked.
It's like something like a higher power, like, put this shit into my head. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
you know what? That's it. It's a weird thing. I'm just talking about the service position you're talking about is a speaker seeker. I've never heard that until I moved up here. I've never heard of that being a position of one person that their only job is to go out and find speakers for the meeting.
Well, that's the only meeting I know of that's ever done that.
There's been other meetings that were just speaker seekers.
We have it. Yeah, we have it up where I'm at too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's important sometimes to do it in situations where, like, maybe it'd be really cool to get someone with 6 months in a secretary position, but they don't
have the network.
Yeah, which could encourage them to go make the network, which is something that I believe in very firmly. That doesn't happen enough, but I think that in my experience recently, it isn't happening enough. But I think that
No, I'm laughing because I thought of something funny. Sorry.
it's okay. Yeah, I lost track of what I was saying.
Seeker.
Speaker seeker. Yeah. So, a meeting can be it's make or break a lot of times because of the secretary and the speakers.
Yeah.
Like if you're just getting, like, for example, up where I'm at, if somebody doesn't have a network outside of Grass Valley, it's a little bit of a drive to go to a meeting out of area. And so the possibility of somebody going to an out of area meeting is probably cut in half just because of the drive time. And so what you do is you get this redundant, repetitive form of recovery.
Recycling locals.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the entire recovery community is almost incestual as far as like the experience and the knowledge
Right.
and it all feels the same. And it becomes this thing, and then meetings start and die and start and die. Yeah, it gets fucking weird. And it's because there's nothing
New.
yeah, correct. And
Yeah.
so it's important to have a speaker seeker if you want to get a young person in recovery in as a secretary.
And I wasn't searching for this, but one of the meetings we had, the chairperson shared, and one of the members of the group was like, they shared afterward, and they're like, I don't know who the speaker seeker here is, but every single speaker we've had is so good. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, that felt great. And I went up to my chairperson afterward and I was like, you chaired the meeting so well that I got a compliment.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
That is.
But yeah, no, so back to the asset, I guess it's like, I give 100% to like things other people might not. And I teach the people that work for me this, like how we do anything is how we do everything, you know, like
all in.
yeah, like if you're lacking details in your email communication, then you might be lacking details in the actual work process itself, you know, like, and the customers see that, you know, our clients see that. And so it's like tied back. Some of it's tied back to this unrealistic expectation of excellence not being good enough. But also there's like an opposite asset or spiritual principle there where it's like, you know what, I can be determined and give my all to everything. And it can flip from defect to asset based on my motive. Like my sponsor would ask me, well, what are your motives, Nick? Because I could do the same exact behavior and have two different motives behind it and have two different outcomes, even though I do the same exact behavior. Which
You can actually have both at the same time, which makes it fucking weird.
Two motives?
Yeah, you can't. Like, you can.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I
Unselfish?
refer to this in regards to like the ambition question I was asking you. Like, I am a very ambitious person as well. What I've learned is that quietly in the background, while my ambition is driven by good motives, there's also that I'm not good enough, or losing it all, or I want other people to see me accomplish.
Recognition,
Yeah, and so and they both drive me, but I only consciously acknowledge the one that feels like it's healthy. So when
I get into that space, for me, I have to like start acknowledging that I'm not the most important person in the world, and that there are other people out there. And when I do that, it frees me. Like the praying for other people thing. Like, oh my God! Like prayer comes in all different forms, and I was reminded because I sent this person a message like yesterday, and the last time I had seen them, they were responding to something that I had like put on social media that was like, hey, like, you know what, no matter what happens, like we all worked very hard, you know, I'm here to celebrate all you guys, like we all work hard, you know, it's not like I'm the only one who works hard, like we all work very hard, you know. And when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, that was like a little prayer, you know. It wasn't like it didn't come across as a form of hitting my knees and, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But how I get to live and act and think about others could be a prayer in some regard.
That's how I get down too.
My solution recently has been doing less, because what I found is that the action that I'm taking based on the ambition is actually become a distraction. And so when I do less, I'm able to see the quiet shit better, and I actually have to feel it and process it. And by doing that, I've been able to become okay with doing less, which has actually enabled me to do more the right way, which is interesting. But that's just how the process worked for me. Doing less is actually doing more.
Yeah. I had an old boss who told me that I was like really good at multitasking and I should be an air traffic controller, because I was a control center tech, and I had all these screens and I could like have the whole operation just like working super smoothly. I was able to do a bunch of things, and I thought, oh, maybe I am good at multitasking, but I'm actually not. I'm actually really good at doing one thing at a time all the way through. I was just doing it like kind of like I was like conducting a symphony or something.
Yeah,
like,
system.
But it was I'm doing one thing at a time. That's what I do today too. It's like when I'm doing when one thing is my focus, that is the thing that I'm doing all the way 100%. And everything else gets
That is not my story. Somebody with some serious ADD. I've got 6 things going and I can't finish any of them.
Do you ever find anything that is able to grab your attention for any extended period of time?
You know, when I process photography, I can get like a 3-hour window that I'm stuck.
That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, and then I have to get up and go walk around, and
that's pretty good. So that to me, your brain is
interested.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a thing for you, photography.
Yeah,
it's cool you found that, because not everybody finds a thing that does that for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially somebody that's that has that other, you know, instead of just being just an addict, you have other mental illness. You know, that's a big thing. So we've gone through fears, resentments. You talked about some of your assets, and we're kind of close to the end. I think we discussed we want to like dig into how did you get into your current career? I mean, that's what.
Yeah, the crazy story part for you could be some of the accomplishments professionally.
Yeah, well, it's that is crazy, because
how about the transition? If I'm wrong, tell me. But I think it's possible that a good transition into it would be like the dabbling, and then your old job into moving into what you do now full time, and then what that's turned into.
Yeah, so since a little kid, like before I, started using drugs, I was like doing art, and I was like drawing and painting and stuff. And
so you were like a creative at early age.
Yeah, I've always liked to make things that didn't exist. And that's something that I haven't thought of in a long time, but like
what?
I like used to encourage others to like create something that only exists because they exist.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of my life I've been trying to like create things that only exist because I exist, which is like part of our individuality, like
I kind of get that.
So I started doing art real young, and my around the Getting Loaded was like a big band scene, so like my dad grew up playing music with us. He was always in a band or had like bands over and things like that.
A lot of music then.
There was a lot of music all the time. Everyone was always jamming and playing guitar. My uncles would come over with their guitars and jam. Like we'd set up a room, and I was a little kid just like listening to everyone jam all the time. And my dad's side of the family was like very musical and stuff. And then even my mom's side of the family, like both grandparents were like in choir. My uncles would come over and jam, and everyone was like very musical all the time. And along the way, someone was like, well, music is art too. And I was like, what? Music is art? Like, I could do that instead of drawing and painting and stuff. And so I like picked up like I was downloading software on my dad's computer. It was like the family computer, you know. It's just like, I don't even know what kind of viruses and stuff I got back then. But
Oh, when you say downloading software, what are you talking about?
downloading music software.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, Fruity Loops was like one of the first things I got, and Cool Edit Pro and Cubase, and like I was into all sorts of different things. But I started making, like, I tried to make beats, you know, and so I grew up like while I'm getting loaded, I'm like trying to make beats, and then there's this part of myself that's like, oh, I want to be. So now I'm like really doing kind of like what. Actually, as I'm saying it, now I'm realizing that I'm emulating kind of everything that I was like taught. I'm getting loaded and I'm doing music, which is basically what I grew up seeing.
Your whole family
People
did
getting
that.
loaded and like doing band shit. I'm just doing a different genre now. So I'm like making beats. And in the Bay Area, it was like all my friends were rapping and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm like a little white kid, so I'm gonna make beats, you know. This is where I fit into the picture. And so like I've always kind of done music. I started picking up piano, you know, around that time. My grandpa was like teaching me stuff. And anyways, this turned into like a lifelong thing. So I've always been like doing music, producing my own stuff. And like I had stuff charting on Beatport in my 20s when I was like in recovery, you know, newly clean. Like I wasn't making a ton of money off it. Like I'd get a check for like $500,000 or whatever.
I'm sorry, for how much?
500, $1,000.
Okay, I thought you said 500,000.
No, 500 to 1,000, you know, for stuff that I had like charted, like the songs that would like do really well, you know, but I still had to like work jobs and stuff. But anyways, I, at around 2 years clean, I picked up a sponsee, and it was at a meeting in Folsom, and he was like, hey, do you like recognize me? We went to high school together. And I was like, oh no, I like I might have recognized you. Yeah. Like this is in the Bay Area, you know? We went to high school together, and I was like, oh no. And so I like started sponsoring him, like trying to take him through the steps and stuff. And he's like, hey, like you should like reconnect with this guy. He does music too, you know? So this is 2 years clean. And he like reconnects me with this other guy that I went to high school with that I was never really friends with. Like we were in different circles and stuff. And so I don't think anything of it. I'm just trying to be of service in NA, you know, like trying to carry the message. And I don't think anything of it. And life goes on, and I'm like working, promoting at my job. And, you know, now I'm making like $14 an hour, which was like a lot for me, you know? Yeah. And time's like going on. I'm still like making music. I'm like making all my own stuff. And eventually one day I like get into like engineering, and I was like always good at like, I was always kind of like good at the engineering side. Like my stuff sounded really good, you know? And, I found kind of this niche, and one day that person who my sponsee connected me to at 2 years clean would end up giving me an opportunity at 10 years clean. So meanwhile, think about it. Like, I do something at 2 years clean to try to be of service. In the background, things are happening. At 10 years clean, it opens up an opportunity for me to do this job. I do the job, and within a couple of years, I like fully quit my corporate job, and I'm like doing what I do. I engineer for a living now, you know.
So a music engineer.
Yeah, an audio engineer. Yep.
Specifically mastering.
Yep, specifically mastering. Yep. And
so when you say mastering, like mastering is like the last person to touch a song.
Yeah, it's like the last phase of the product. It's the very end of the production. It's like the song was written, composed, produced, mixed down, and now I'm taking the final mix and I'm making it sound as best as it can sound for playback across different stereo systems. So like your car, headphones, even your phone speakers, and digital streaming platforms, DSPs. So like making it sound good on Tidal and Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon, whatever, because they all transcode to different formats.
Just fine tuning to current industry standards.
I'm optimizing everything to sound really good wherever it plays back. I heard one of the songs I did on my wife's Peloton today, and I was like, man, that sounded way better than the song that came on before it. I was like impressed, sometimes it impresses myself because I've never music has been really hard for me because I have a real heart, a lot of creatives, and I say this because this is how I feel, is there's a level of crippling self-doubt that we all live with that prevents us from ever being satisfied with the things that we work on. And so the cool part is in recovery, I've kind of gotten to go past the crippling self-doubt, and now I like some things come out and I'm like, I wouldn't change that. It was perfect.
I sent the most recent song I did. We sent to a mixing and mastering engineer on the East Coast. He kind of does the mastering as he's mixing, as he's running it through all his gear, and got back the final product, and it's really good. And he's works with a lot of big artists, and he's the final hand on all their shit, and they're platinum artists, And we got that back, and I had you also master the same mix, and we didn't touch it for maybe a month or two because I was just burnt out on it. And I came back to it the other day, and it's night and day, the difference. What you did with it and what he did with it. His sounds great, and me and Sadie were both damn, that sounded good. Let's play the other one. And we played the one with your master on it, and we were both holy shit, dude. The difference is fucking mind-boggling, dude. It's so much better.
Yes. When I have people in the studio, sometimes I tell them, I don't know if I'm delusional or if I have a close relationship with reality in this one particular reality. But the more time goes on, the more I feel like I have a close relationship with reality in this one very specific reality, which is audio. And I look at it I'm a tweaker. I'm tweaking
it's
out
how you're
on
made,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
Your brain.
I can relate to that.
That's how he is talking about what he has with the photos. He can lock into them for 3 hours. It's I can do that with the creative side of music. I can do it with working out. I can do it, people have that thing. You found your thing, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking tight.
Yeah. So it led to, I was telling these guys before the podcast, there's been less than 100 songs that have ever gone diamond, and in the 5 years, it's been 5.
Wait,
it's
is
been
that
6
all
years.
time?
All time.
There's
yeah.
less than 100 songs of all time ever.
Mm-hmm.
What diamond means for anybody that doesn't know is 10 million copies sold.
Yeah, I've done 2 of them in the past 5.5, 6 years. No, it's been 6 now.
So in your career, you have 2 diamond records that you mastered.
Correct. Yeah.
Out of the 100 that are out there in the world.
Yeah, and Josh and Kevin are trying to get me to tell my crazy story. My crazy story is I won a Grammy on accident. I actually have.
It's not accident.
Well, I didn't intend to do it. I was just sponsoring that guy at 2 Years Clean.
Oh, okay.
One thing led to another.
You purposely mastered a song that got you a Grammy.
Yeah, I was a homeless addict eating donations at the transitional house to sponsoring a guy to I actually have a Grammy statuette, which is it's really hard to win as a mastering engineer. You have to win in a very specific kind of couple of categories. But the whole process of everything was and I'm not going to share about the who's or what's just for anonymity purposes.
Yeah.
But the whole process of everything was just beyond
out of body experience.
Yeah,
almost.
out of body experience. I've went to the Grammys. I saw the win happen live. I didn't go on stage. I'm in the background anyways. I don't really like that type of stuff. You know? I don't want to be recognized for it, but it is cool to do something my entire life and want something. And the weirdest part about this is the weirdest thing that ever ever happened to me. I have a checklist on my phone. I have like, they're real short term. Like I have like short term to-do list.
Yeah.
And then I have like long-term goals, and like my long-term goals that I have on my goal list are like very like just craziest like things that you'd ever like, that's never going to happen, you know? And I was like checking off like one of my to-do lists, like hang picture on wall. And I'm like, I swipe over to my goals and I forgot I had like made this whole thing. This thing is like a 10-year long thing. It's like on a Google, like on my calendar or something. And I swipe over to my goals, and one of my goals, it says win a Grammy. And I went like so casually, and I clicked it off my little list. And I started laughing. I'm like all by myself. And I'm just like laughing at this because it was just such a, like, it's something that's just so rare that I never like asked for, expected. I've always wanted, you know.
How many diamond mastering engineers are even currently active in the industry?
There's a lot. The way music is consumed changes how things get certified and stuff. But no, there's
Based off of streaming?
There's probably like 10 or more. Even right now that are active. So yeah,
That's a crazy lifetime goal accomplishment, you know?
yeah. It was surreal. It was, even my wife says it was like one of the best days of her life. You know, so.
I mean, it's not like you drove a car off a cliff and walked away kind of crazy story, but that's still, what a vision of hope for somebody that's like maybe listening to the podcast and they're in transitional housing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. Remember my sponsor,
Eating out of
Daniel?
the fucking food closet,
Yeah,
dude.
my sponsor, Daniel, he had me write down everything that I wanted out of recovery, and I didn't write this down.
No.
You know? And so they tell me all the time, like, if I had only gotten that list of things I wanted out of recovery, I would have sold myself short.
Hell,
My
every
list
single time.
when I got out of prison was I needed a room and I wanted carpet on the floor. I wanted a mattress on the carpet. Didn't even care about a box spring or a frame. I wanted a TV. It didn't have to be on the wall. Just needed to be able to watch it. And I wanted a pillow and I wanted a pistol. And that was it. That was all I wanted.
Damn, you can go buy all that stuff right now.
Yeah, dude, that was all I wanted, dude.
All that money's in your account right now.
I'm just like, it's funny you say that list because I remember I wanted to be able to buy the good toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like being
I want that today,
institutionalized.
dude.
Being I know.
That's funny because I have a very specific toilet paper
that I don't ever want to have to do again is like the sandpaper in jail
Yeah.
that you wipe your ass with. I will never ever buy that, you know. And so I get the good stuff. I feel like what was that?
Baby wipes, dude. We got baby wipes in my house. We buy them in
Yeah.
a fucking bundle, dude.
Oh, I got bidets at my house. So
But the
list,
list that we have in the beginning is like, you know, no sandpaper, toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
And now what do we have?
bidets.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Bidets and baby wipes. That's what we got today.
That's a pretty
That sounds like the name of an album, dude.
Bidets and baby wipes. It's one artist I could think of that would adopt that. I'm not going to say their name though.
Josh.
Oh, Josh.
He would.
Yeah, Josh would.
Yeah.
Bidets and baby wipes. I was driving around with a buddy yesterday. Me and Sadie and our friend from Chico was here, and we were talking about somebody's physical condition. They're like, how did that happen? And I'm like, alcohol and atrophy. And he's like, oh God, that's the name of a fucking album if I've ever heard it. And then Sadie in the background, she said, Alcohol and Atrophy by Battered Pelvis. That's the name of the band's Battered Pelvis.
You guys are off the hook. Right on.
Side shoot.
Yeah. So, was there any other like crazy story besides like it's kind of hard to top winning a Grammy?
Not really.
Yeah.
That's
I have a
nuts.
pretty mundane life. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
there's
not
no
mundane. It's
shootouts or
routine.
anything.
Yeah, I have my routines. I wake up. I do a lot of yoga now. Then I work out. Then I do a lot more stretching and stuff so that I don't, hurt myself. And then I work.
On
then I go
your
to meetings.
on your life goal list, like the high one, is there like running a marathon on there? Because you're a huge runner right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to run this marathon. If I can make it to the start line, I will.
That'll be
hopefully make it
another
to the-
check mark on that list.
Is it on
Yeah.
the list?
No, it's not.
So
But I
that's
think
a-
I'll do it eventually, even if I don't do it in December, which I plan to.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you think you're training to accomplish it at a certain standard, or are you just training just to
Yeah,
get through it?
yeah. I have a running sponsor. He's an NA
Yeah.
too, and he's
You're
a
shooting for a
marathon
specific
runner.
time.
Yeah, well, that's how my higher power works. Like, this is actually how it works at my house too. Like, if someone rings the doorbell, I won't go to the door, but if they like ring twice, I'll go to the door. And so like this person was like, "Hey, do you want like someone to help you train?" And I was like, "Nah, I got it." Rang once,
I got this.
and then a few weeks go by. "Hey, are you sure?" And they rang twice, and that's always a good indication for me that like, that's how my relationship is with my higher power. Like, I don't know what it is, or I don't try to understand anymore. It's too much work. It doesn't even matter. Like my understanding doesn't matter. Like I can still apply spiritual principles, but like no one gives a shit who my God is. They care if I'm like nice to them or if I'm like generate, like reliable. Like no one cares what my God is. They care about the spiritual principles that are attached. Anyway, so he rang twice, and I said, you know what? Maybe my higher power is trying to tell me something. Okay, I'll do this. And in the training, even though I've there was a first injury, it wasn't really like I got COVID and I was sedentary and I injured my back just doing a random thing that was like, had nothing to do with running. It like stunted some of the training because I'm like recovering from a back injury. It takes 6 to 8 weeks, to like fully recover. And so I'm like still running, and I'm still running these hard workouts. And so that was hard, but the progress I've made in speed and stuff, I never remember I was supposed to be a fat kid my whole life.
What's your goal for the marathon? What's your goal time?
Under 4 hours, like a 9-minute
goal.
mile, which I was never, I wasn't able to get up off the couch and move around or exercise.
Is it a flat marathon? Where's the marathon at?
CIM, so it's like predominantly downhill. There's like 600
What's
feet of
CIM?
elevation. California International Marathon, Folsom to Sacramento. It ends at the
So
Capitol.
that's cool. So it's mostly flat.
Yeah, it's mostly like downhill.
Yeah.
You'll get 600 feet of elevation, which is like my typical like 9-mile run is 600 feet of elevation because I live up in the hills,
Yeah.
So like I've been doing a lot of training up there. But yeah, at the track, I've been running like 6-minute and 30-second miles and stuff, like things that I never thought I'd be able to
like
do.
one at a time, like
No,
speed?
for like a 5K. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
dude.
I could do that for consistently. Like my hard workouts are like 7-minute miles for 4 miles, and then I stop. I've never like not even in high school. I used to walk next to the kid that had a heart condition because the PE teacher wouldn't dock me points. Because I think that they were like, oh man, we can't really, like I found a way to manipulate all this stuff from a very early age, like I didn't want to run the mile. So as long as I was walking with the kid with the heart condition, I'd be like, what are you going to say to me? And they'd never dock me points, even though they should have, So I was supposed to finish it in 12 minutes.
Master manipulator.
And I was finishing it in like 15, 16 minutes walking with my friend.
Running on the track for that many miles is fucking rough. It's rough on for me it was. I've tried running on the track just for like extended amounts of miles, just the flat ground, repetitive left turning or right turning, whatever you're doing. It just, my body doesn't like it. It likes trails more.
Well, that was a good tangent we went off on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you getting us back on track now?
We ended it with running. That's where I'm currently at. This is the thing I'm trying to do.
fucking run, bro. I'm trying to run
I am.
something.
I mean,
yeah.
more than anything else right now, I'm trying to complete this marathon.
Yeah, well,
So
I mean, you
it's
won a
current.
Grammy. Now it's time to run a marathon.
There you go.
This is the beyond my wildest dreams part, because I've had my wildest dreams realized, which is like not promised to us. I want to make that clear. Like it's not
I
promised.
can't wait to see what comes after that.
Maybe
gonna
horrible despair awaits.
Maybe. You never know.
No.
Well, Nick,
It was good to get to know your story.
Take that for your message of hope.
Could be a fucking ruthless pit of despair ahead of you. Signing off.
it's all a process. I tell you that.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you being willing to do this and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, I've known you for a while. It was good to get to know you a little more.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was cool. Appreciate it. And
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
yeah, and I appreciate you being in my my inner circle too. Before we close, just a little bit of house cleaning there. We got a couple new listeners. Our friend Kelsey out in Pennsylvania. We send our love to you. Thank you very much. And Garth, also thanks for sending us a message and chiming in. We appreciate that you guys are listening.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Love you, Nick. Love you, Kevin. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you being here and being part of this community. Just a quick heads up before we wrap. The people we talk to on this show are just sharing their own personal stories. They do not speak for any specific recovery program or group. It's just their experience, strength, and hope. Well, that's it for now, and please remember that you can follow us on any of your streaming platform that you listen to, and somewhere in there on that streaming platform there is a donate button if you care to help out with our monthly fees that we have to pay to produce each episode, and there's a follow button. There's also somewhere on your streaming platform you can text us and send us a response or email or check-in. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you.